Hey guys, Grizz here. If you didn't know, it's not a real YouTube video unless you started off by saying, hey guys. So let's, again, hey guys, how you doing? Today, I want to show off a Victorinox Garant. It's the only and first 111 millimeter model I've bought. Honestly, I haven't been too interested in these models. I just think they're kind of clunky looking. I get it. Like, when it comes to a knife this size, I just go for more modern folders with, fast one-handed opening and closing and, tougher steels and stuff like that that are available for less money. But this is a cool knife nonetheless. So Garant is a company in Germany. And you might think of them as like how I believe Black & Decker owns DeWalt, and DeWalt's like their premium line of tools. Garant is a premium line of tools made by a company called the Hoffman Group. And, it's on par with stuff like Knipex or Klein or something like that. But, not maybe, I wouldn't say Snap-on, but same idea. It's meant to be a premium tool brand. So basically what this is the Nomad model from Victorinox, which is essentially the 111 millimeter Spartan with some fancy scales on it. And the scales have a dual texture. It's all one material, but it gives it the look of being a dual material just because the finished texture is a little coarser on this part than it is on this part, with this line flowing through. The orange Garant logo. This number here with the little scale on it, 846000, is actually the model number on their reference catalog. This little orange dot with a triangle in it is actually embossed, so it's raised up a little bit. You can actually feel it when you run your hand over it. And one of the cool things is it actually has orange toothpick and a pen that match. And I think this is one of the only 111 millimeter models to have what would be considered plus scales, to have the pen and the other things that come along with that. But let's start out checking it out. We have the normal sized can opener with the combination flathead 2D Phillips tip. That is not locking. We have a oversized bottle opener and screwdriver. This is a heavy duty. It's thicker than the smaller models. It's just larger overall. They just took all the proportions and jacked it up. Really all they did is just make it taller, I guess, from this edge to this edge is higher, but the dimensions of this are the same. The width of the tip is about the same. It's just beefier to fit in the knife better. And this comes with a liner lock, although it's really not a liner lock. A liner is, lines the handle. So these are the liners. Technically, these are spacers, so really it's a spacer lock, but it's arguing semantics. It's meaningless. It's calling it a liner lock is perfectly fine. That's what they call it. That's what everybody calls it. It's not like it's just stupid. But I'll get to the point of why it does make a little bit of difference right now, because what it is normally on a knife, most knives are made for right-handed people. That's just a fact of the world. And normally, if you had a liner lock, the liner would have to press outwards to get out of the way. In this case, you have to push it inwards. And it's actually kind of tough, especially on this end where it flares out. You got to get it you got your thumb in a very specific position to close the knife. Now, on the other side, we have a big, beefy blade. It's only got a 3-line tang stamp on one side of it. It's just the normal blade, just upsized. If you just took the blade and stretched it out, but kept the proportions from a 91 millimeter knife, that's what you'd have here. It's roughly the same thickness as the 93 millimeter stock on like the A-Lock Soldier knives, but it's just longer and taller. And again, it's got the spacer lock, liner lock, whatever that works in. This one's a lot easier, mainly just because this handle doesn't flare out like it does down here. So closing the bottle opener is a little harder than closing the knife. Now for left-handed people, It's kind of genius because I'm not left-handed, obviously, but you know, it actually works the way a normal liner lock would for a right-handed person. So it kind of, whoa, all right, that was fantastic. Knocked my phone over. I'm not even going to stop. That's I like to keep it real. So, and of course on the back we've got a corkscrew. This one comes with a micro screwdriver. Like I said, it's the kind of like the plus scales package. So you get the accessories that go along with that, just like a Swiss Champ or a Compact or something like that. I think the Work Champ has them too, which is the basically the Swiss Champ equivalent in a 111 millimeter version. And you'll notice it has the hole for the pin. It does not come with the pin. Not that that's a big deal. I can't imagine being upset because it didn't come with a pin. Like, just get a pin and put it in there if you really need a pin that badly. And has a toothpick on the front. Just a generic toothpick. Nothing special at all about that. It's the same toothpick on all the other knives. But what is special is it has the cool orange tweezers. And not only are they special because they're orange, but if you look at it, it's actually got metric markings on it. So, I mean, I know it seems kind of impractical to have a ruler this small, but this is actually, you know, the kind of for measuring small parts, it's great, you know. Like the ruler on the fish scaler on the Swiss Champ, you know, about the only thing I've ever done with it is measure the width and size and thickness of knives. And this would be perfect for measuring the thickness of knife blades if you don't have a micrometer and don't need a super exact measurement. You know, this would work perfectly. So I love when Victorinox squeezes an extra utility into a space that otherwise would do nothing. Kind of like when they put the file on the back of the hook in the Compact, or when they used to put the file on the square Phillips screwdrivers. It's just using a surface that would otherwise serve no other purpose and managing to fit another utility into it. And I just think that's great, and I'd like to see them do that more. And then at the other end, you have a ballpoint pen, pressurized, and it's got the orange tip too to match the logo on the other side. So it's pretty cool. It brings you back that design element to both sides, so you get just a hint of orange on the back to match the orange logo on the front. That's just cool designing. And I think this is the only knife that has these orange tools. Before they recently released their sets of, you know, orange or colored toothpicks and colored tweezers, you know, these were about the only colors you had on a Victorinox knife. I haven't seen colored pens, but I'm sure they're out there. What I kind of think would be cool is if it wrote in orange ink. I know that wouldn't be that useful, but I just think it would be kind of cool. And again, it has the logo on the back with this little guy either working a grinding wheel or some kind of mechanical thing. I assume he's supposed to be turning a crank on a wheel or on a machine or something like that. But regardless of that, the Garant, it's a cool little knife. It's a little hard to come by in the States. In Europe, it's much easier to get. You can go to their website and get them purchased. You just have to set up an account. I believe they're only supposed to send a they're trying to sell them to businesses and stuff, but you can get them. You can get them on eBay too. This is actually one that came from Ukraine, interestingly enough. There's a guy in Ukraine I used to deal with all the time. I hope he's well. You know, I pray to God that him and his family are safe. And that's about all for today. Thanks everybody for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Victorinox out.